And this is a game I'm really looking forward to. Is the new well, I can't even think. Harry Potter game. So, and I guess there's drama. I didn't know.
Hogwarts Legacy boycott drama isn't real. Oh yeah,
I had no idea there even was drama.
We'll go ahead and we'll watch a few of these and get through them. Yeah, some people have been complaining about because J.K. Rowling like hates fucking women or trans people or something like that.
I thought she didn't hate them. She just didn't really agree with that a trans woman is a full woman or something like that.
People don't want to play Harry Potter. I don't. Yeah, I don't really know.
I always find that weird that the main, like, to me, unless they do something, like say they murder, rape, or whatever, like a really hardcore crime, I actually don't really care about a creator's like thoughts on things are. You know what I mean? Like the things they created to me are more important. It only matters when they're actually doing some really like evil stuff.
Like I saw that people were complaining about it, and it seemed like a very common.
It's like Chick-fil-A. How they just don't like gay people because they're like super religious, but it's like I don't care. Like they have good food. That's all. Like that'd be different if he told me they were hunting gay people. It's like, okay, I'm not ever supporting them.
Complex issues, so I just kind of ignored it. The truth is that, I mean, I'm still gonna listen to Kanye West, so like, that's where I stand on this issue. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the game's fun to play, I'm gonna play the game.
So-called controversies in the gaming. You know what's the best thing about all these so-called controversies in the gaming community?
They're not real and they don't actually matter.
All you have
Pretty
to do
much.
is shut your phone off and they no longer exist.
Pretty close.
For quite a few years now, this has been the main struggle for me as a YouTuber as well.
Yeah.
On one hand, I enjoy getting to share my opinions with you all on gaming news when it's something that I feel really matters to me. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, the realization kicked in with me a while ago that too much of this news is simply fabricated. We live in a world revolving around social media, where people have incredibly low attention spans and where any one voice can be elevated to appear like it's representing a much larger group than it is in reality. Meanwhile, content creators are in a
The vocal
constant
minority.
struggle to gain their audience's notice, so we love nothing more than to make use of this and lean into people's emotions as much as possible.
Oh, I see this all the time. It's like whenever there's a news story and it.
Oh, this is like when people say, "Oh, you're denying trans people," so you're saying like they're not real people. And it's like that's not what people say. And they do it with like other things as well.
It's like social
really
media
annoying.
is on fire because of this latest change, and they show a few tweets, and one of the tweets that they show has 17 likes. Oh my god. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It just like, what are you doing? It doesn't matter. Like, if people get mad about something on Twitter, you just ignore it for like 3 days and it goes away.
I say we.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter. Like I've heard like a lot of people like who use it say they wish they could quit. So to me it was like, why would I use something that sounds like you're on drugs? Like the people I know who are like into Twitter, they're like, oh yeah, I can't help myself. And I'm just like, dude, it sounds like you have an addiction, like a heroin addiction.
Because I'd be lying if I said I didn't take part in it myself as well.
Oh yeah, I farm this stuff all the time because it's funny.
After all, here
Yeah.
I am, making a video about the Hogwarts Legacy boycott, a topic which is bound to catch plenty of eyes, but otherwise,
Got me.
honestly wouldn't be something much on my own mind at all.
Honestly, I didn't know about the drama. That's why I'm like watching it. If I kind of knew what it was, I'd probably still watch it just because, you know, about games. Why not?
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm still in the process of finding the ideal solution to this problem of my own. I could never go back to making content on a daily basis on this channel like I used to many years ago.
Okay.
But I also really don't want to go months without making videos anymore because no topic really seems to suffice. Alas, for now, let's just skip my inner ramblings here.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? I mean, like, just do whatever you want to do, man. If you want to make more videos, make more videos. If you don't want to, then stop it. Like, yeah, overthinking that kind of stuff is always going to get worse.
And actually get to the point. With less than a month to go until the release of Hogwarts Legacy, there are increasingly larger calls for a boycott of the game.
That's
the
cool.
main reason is because of J.K. Rowling, whose name is obviously attached to this product,
Yeah,
being
I've
that
heard
she's
about
the
that.
creator of Harry Potter's universe. In recent years, Rowling has openly expressed some of her views.
I think I see what she's saying, at least especially in this first part. If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. So, I think what she's basically saying is, like, what, by trying to get rid of the like terminology of sex, you're also like in a way saying there should be no gay pride, in a sense, right? That you liking the same sex, like, actually kind of agree in that sex really shouldn't matter for most things. I think the only times it really should is when it's like biology based, so like sports, hospitals, like stuff like that, where it's like your biology is coming into play, therefore now we need to address the fact that you are female or male. But in terms of like same-sex attraction, it's like, I know some people have their personality in terms of like being gay or lesbian. To me, I use that gay for both, but it's, I don't know, or just being a woman. Like some people have their identity, is what the word I was looking for, behind their sex. So.
In the ongoing transgender debate, which, suffice to say, a large number of people severely seem to disagree with.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like that. I mean, again, you have to keep in mind that I'm not sure about all of the evidence, but with many people, they've come to the conclusion that Tolkien was like kind of racist. And, you know, like H.P. Lovecraft was like 100% racist.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, if you like anything that's more than 100
something?
years old, the odds are that the people that made it were racist. And it's not like they were racist, like, oh, well, you know, they just didn't understand. They're racist as in, like, we like slavery racist. Like, that's just what happens. I mean, again, if you get upset about this shit, it's fine. But I think it's a little bit odd whenever people draw lines here, whenever there's so many other things that are problematic as well. There's like these companies that are making shoes using third-party labor, third-world labor. Like, is this really worse? Like, how are you boycotting Harry Potter, but you're
Apple.
not boycotting Apple?
Yep. Yeah, especially when like the stories came out with Apple that people were jumping out of the freaking building to, like, instead of quitting, they had to kill themselves. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it's like when I heard that stuff, I'm just like, dude, I'm never buying an Apple product again. Like, that's what I said earlier, is like, I don't care about the creators, like, thoughts and stuff. Like, if it turned out, you know, Steve Jobs, like, hated, I don't know, Asians or something like that, right? Like, I wouldn't care, because it's like, whatever. But when you're actually doing things that are messed up, like, I'm just gonna stop supporting that product.
It just seems like a very distorted worldview.
Yeah. And I always call it hypocritical when people, like, talk about that stuff and then they pull out their iPhone and it's like, okay.
Who recently published an article highlighting a heated argument taking place in a Reddit thread where Rowling's comments were repeatedly called transphobic, and she was named a so-called TERF, trans-exclusionary radical feminist. The thread, published on a popular Reddit, was named "A friendly reminder from your mod team that this woman is a TERF, and anyone who pledges to support her monetarily is also a transphobe."
Well, I mean, like, again, you got to keep in mind, you go and you look at this, it had 3,000 updates, okay? 3,000 update Rudies.
I would assume that's like nothing compared to like the actual fan base of Harry Potter.
You know what that means?
That's like one city.
Nothing. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And on top of that, there's more comments than updates. And if there's more comments than updates on something, you know what that means? It means that the comments are mostly disagreeing with it. That's what happens. Yeah, they got unironically ratioed.
Yep.
And anyone who pledges to support her monetarily is also a transphobe. This same sentiment, not just about Rowling, but also ascribing her stance to anyone deciding to buy Hogwarts Legacy, is being repeated across social media in larger numbers with each day that Hogwarts Legacy's launch is getting closer.
I don't think almost anyone is going to listen to this. Like, the game looks amazing. I've liked Harry Potter. Like, I'm not obsessed. I don't care what house people are in, but it's a good story.
Oh, if people don't want to buy it because they don't agree
story.
with what she said, I think that's totally their right to do it. That's totally fine. I think that every single person has to draw their own line in the sand and say, you know what? I don't want to support this. I don't like what it stands for, and I'm not a fan of it, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I do it with some things like Apple products now. I'm trying to think of something else, but I can't off the top of my head.
It's their right to do that. I think where the problem comes in is whenever they try to guilt trip and shame other people for enjoying something. I would assume that most of the people that are going to play Hogwarts Legacy don't know what turf is. Turf is like, the stuff that you run around on the track in PE class, okay? If you got no fucking idea about it, and in my opinion, anytime that you try to force people that don't really care about your issue to care about your issue and agree with you, you usually get them to care about your issue and disagree with you. I think it's a very counterproductive goal. And anytime, it's like these people, they just want to play a video game. They don't give a fuck. You know, this is a person, you know, they're a fucking school bus driver. And you know, they have to deal with shit all day, every day. Do you think they really want to come and, after all of this, that they want to come home and read about how they're a bad person because they're playing a video game? Absolutely fuck.
They're playing a video game, and the creator of, like, said video games theme, they said mean things about your group.
Fucking not. Nobody wants to hear that. So, like, yeah, it's the same thing I said kind of with the recently with the World Cup being in Qatar. It's like, if you don't want to watch it because it's in Qatar, I think that's totally fine. It's your own prerogative. If you have a moral obligation not to do it, totally okay. But the problem is whenever these people are so fucking self-righteous and sanctimonious that they think that they have the fucking moral authority to sit around and tell everybody else what they have to do too. And then they try to shame other people for enjoying something. And
that, or they're saying, like, you're a bad person. Like, basically, they're trying to soapbox you. Stand on their soapbox like, hey, I'm a better person, and you're than you because you're doing that. And you doing that makes you now a bad person.
I think that I've never really seen an instance of this happen, and it wasn't counterproductive. I've never seen an instance where people do this, and it didn't backfire. All the time. People get so fucking tired of it, man. Sure, they're a bunch of losers. Yes, they are. And at the end of the day, I think these are people who haven't come to the realization that their opinion doesn't matter. Your approval of somebody else playing a video game, there's no currency value of this. Nobody cares about your approval because you're a loser.
It's not even just that you're a loser. It's like, think about it like this. Like, even the people they care about, like, say, your parents, sibling, or whatever it is. Like, if you're playing a game that looks cool and you like it, and they say, oh, you're bad for doing that, you're just going to look at them like they're crazy. Like, what are you talking about?
And that's it. And if more of these people realize this, they would probably stop doing it. But yeah, they think it's main character syndrome. They have no sense of perspective in the world.
Now, without further getting into any of J.K. Rowling's opinions or my personal views on the discussion yet, let's first talk about the theoretical implications that a major boycott could have on Hogwarts Legacy as a product.
Yeah.
While it's impossible to speculate about exact percentages, I definitely do expect a part of the game's sales revenue to go towards J.K. Rowling. Warner Brothers
I don't
Games
know.
has basically been forced to make it clear she is not contributing in any way to the game nor its narrative, but
I don't know why they would even have to say anything. It was kind of dumb of them to do that.
that she still earns royalties from any product based on a world is pretty obvious to me.
I think that they made a mistake by even addressing it. The more that
Yeah.
you talk to people that are unreasonable, the more ammunition you give them to go off of.
Yeah, that, and because you're more bigger than they are, now people who weren't ever going to see what they were talking about now are going to wonder, well, what are you talking about? Why are you saying this?
You just completely ignore it and it goes away.
Yeah.
While J.K. Rowling herself may already be filthy rich, and I honestly doubt that these sales will prove to become a noteworthy addition to her net worth, I also do understand that she apparently contributes to particular charities, not exactly in line with the views of those who are choosing to boycott the game. In other words, I actually think it can be a pretty valid point to assume that some of the money you'd spend on Hogwarts Legacy may go towards causes that could perhaps directly oppose those that would have your own support. So,
Maybe,
all in
I don't
all,
know.
perhaps you may be surprised to hear it.
That's a weird life you would live in if that's like how you saw things.
Come out of my mouth, but I really don't
This
have a
is
problem
dystopian
with
in a
people
way.
choosing to ignore Hogwarts Legacy for their own principled reasons.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Exactly. This
Of
guy, I
course.
like this guy. This guy's a good guy.
In fact, I
Says the
honestly
same
wish
thing.
more people were this critical in their purchasing decisions, not just from a political perspective, but especially from the consumer side of things. Wait,
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Nope.
Yeah, the thing is that most of these people will they will not play the game for a while and then they will play the game after that. That's what's going to happen. That's always the way these things go.
too often nowadays do I hear people complaining about games taking a direction that they aren't fond of remakes that they feel are completely unnecessary, of characters written in a way where they no longer appeal to them at all. But when push comes to shove, out of sheer desperation not to miss out on the current new thing, their money goes towards these products anyway, be it at launch or during a sale as, I guess, a best case scenario.
Yep.
To a degree, I mean, he is right, but at the same time, I mean, Shadowlands kind of proved it. Like, you can take things kind of too far, and if you do, people aren't just gonna take it. Like, if Dragonflight really was leaning towards it again, like, just being that bad, honestly, I think I would have just given up on WoW completely.
Far too few of us seem to understand
I can't guarantee it, but it's like I would have had way less interest. I would say that.
as the consumers, we are in control at the end of the day, and it's up to us
This game
to
does look
voice
pretty
this
interesting.
unhappiness.
Oh, that's very true. I wish more people realized that. Absolutely.
I didn't really catch that.
A sale as, I guess, a best case scenario.
Yep.
Far too few of us seem to understand that as the consumers, we are in control at the end of the day, and it's up to us to voice this unhappiness.
Oh, that's very true. I wish more people realized that. Absolutely. Yeah, I really do wish that more people realize that actually, as a consumer, you do have a lot of power. You need to be able to, put your
A lot. I mean, you have all the power. Like, let's be fair. You have the power literally to make that company no longer exist. Like, that's the level of power consumers have.
yourself out there and say, hey, I'm not going to buy this. But the truth is that a lot of people that are
They just don't
as
care.
video games, and this is just kind of like what happens as people as like these things evolve and they become more prevalent. Like, look at like pay to win games and gotcha games. Like 10 years ago, they were very uncommon and people took a very principled stance and they did not play them. Nowadays, that's not really the case. Most people play these new games. Almost everybody engages with pay-to-win games on some degree.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, from the get-go, that shouldn't have been on the player's end. That should have been on, honestly, the government. Because it's gambling. I don't mind pay to win if it's, like, non-gamble mechanics, like loot boxes and stuff. Only because it's like, if it's pay to win and it's upfront, like, about it, it's like, okay, then just don't play that game.
Like, I can't, like, maybe I can think of some people that
But it's the RNG of it that just makes it, crap.
don't, but it's certainly a much larger amount that do. So I think that's just what happens, is that you can vote with your wallet, but I think with gaming especially, the real thing that matters and the only thing that matters is if the game is fun to play. And if the game is fun to play, it doesn't matter if it has gambling, it doesn't matter if it has transphobia, it doesn't matter if it has racism, it doesn't matter if it has anything. People will play that video game because that's all people want to do. They just want to play a video game. They don't care about any of these other issues. These issues are like invisible to them. They work at an office. They don't care about this at all.
Exactly. I mean, they're just there to enjoy the medium, or the media that they're trying to enjoy. Like a TV show, like whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think FIFA is a great example of this. Doesn't FIFA, FIFA has gotcha in the game with, like, the fucking Ultimate Team thing. And
Yeah.
I don't
boxes.
know. I heard that they airbrushed out and they took out some of the gambling sponsors in FIFA. Is that true or not? Because I don't want to go and say something that's not true. Are you able to see gambling sponsors in FIFA?
That's crazy. Because that's like a lot of kids play those games.
So you can see gambling sponsors in FIFA. Okay. Well, yeah, there you go. So people are still going to be playing the game. They don't like gambling, but they're still playing FIFA. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it should be at like long ago. This should have already been at least this part of the gaming should have been regulated.
We don't do that through meaningless criticism, yet cowardly shying away from taking any
In
action.
some countries,
we
they're
vote
not.
with our wallet, and that is what brings across actual change. That being said, let's bring the discussion back to Hogwarts Legacy, and what I do take issue with myself. That's obviously trying to guilt trip others, telling them that trans folks merely for having different priorities, and dictating that they can't possibly be buying the game merely for the desire of what it actually offers. Taking this approach is always going to blow up in your face. I'll tell you this much, for me, it only achieves the opposite effect. A little voice...
Yeah, a lot of people say, fuck you, you're not going to tell me what to do. I don't want you telling me that I can or can't play a video game. I'm going to do it even more now.
I think it's also a case where, like, if they were going to have sympathy for you, it's no longer there. It's more hostile now. So, like, even though they may not have been transphobic prior to that, they may like, oh man, is this how trans people are? Like, man, they're really annoying. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a good look.
My mind would almost make me feel inclined to support the product now.
Yeah,
if it wasn't just to spite those who think they can assume things out of me and label me whatever they want.
Exactly.
It's straight up toxic, and I'll be the last to give in to your pathetic threats, no matter how many of you may try to coerce me.
And the thing is that they are pathetic threats because there's nothing that these people are really going to do.
Nope.
Like, what are they going to do? Tweet at you? Just block them.
Yeah.
Another one tweets at you, block them. Like, after, like, probably 10 people that you block, you're never going to see it again. Like, that's it. It doesn't...
Or if you're like me, you know, you're not even on Twitter. Maybe I should get on there, because obviously I'm, like, streaming and stuff, but, like, I don't want to.
matter.
I'll be honest.
Hell, do people honestly think they
tweets.
are, telling others what decisions to make?
Because I've heard, like,
now,
nothing
as
but
you
bad
know,
stuff.
I'm in no way a blind apologist for Hogwarts Legacy as a product. And to be honest, as of now, I haven't even made my mind up whether I'm going to be getting it or not. I recently made a video analyzing the gameplay, and I think I expressed plenty of reservations that I still have regarding the story, voice acting, and how satisfying the combat may turn out to be. Then again, like many others, I grew up with the Harry Potter books and movies, and I can't say that the promise of roaming around a rendition of Hogwarts this vast, expansive, and full of detail isn't appealing enough in and of itself.
It's cool.
All that I'm trying to say is that my decision to buy this game or not will depend, and only depend, on the quality of the game that is ultimately delivered.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, everyone seems to be expected to fall in line with the same one-sided political narrative nowadays. But
I don't think that everybody is expected to do that. I think that there is a very small, I would say 1 to 2% minority of people that are so politically extreme and like mentally fucking psychotic that they think the entire world revolves around them. Because most people
Them and their causes, yeah. That when they find a cause, that the world should just stop and pay attention.
give in to them because they just don't want to deal with their psychotic outbursts. That's really what the truth is. But also the truth is that nobody really gives a fuck. And I think more and more people are starting to realize this, is that a lot of people that are angry about something amounts to nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a
Outrage
difference.
culture
It's
is
not
like
a big
dying.
deal. Everything blows over. It doesn't matter.
Personally, I simply refuse. Don't get me wrong, I've never had a problem expressing myself and taking conversations about games beyond their basic talking points.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, as someone whose views admittedly lie mostly in the libertarian category, it's always been quite a lonely experience refusing to go along with any quote-unquote side and having that comfort of automatically knowing I'll be backed up by the vast majority of my viewers who fall in the same category. But
I think that this is what the real category is. Don't fucking tell me what to do, you stupid loser on Twitter. That's the real category that I think 95% of people fall into.
Yeah. It's not a left or a right thing. Or, like, honestly, I don't even really believe in the whole left and right thing, because I think a lot of people on the left and right, like, they're not, like, 100% on either end. So...
That's it.
But no one
and
likes being
this
told
is
what to do.
the same with people that are like, oh, well, they fucking race swapped a character. This is a terrible fucking movie. Like, you should never see this because it's got woke agendas in it or something like that. Like Dragonflight was like that because, I mean, they had like 7 or like, I think it was like at least 3 or 4 like gay marriage or like gay relationship quest lines. And you had
Really? I don't remember those. Honestly, I skip quests a lot of times, so maybe that's why.
people that saw that and they're like, well, what the fuck? Like, this is just them trying to push an agenda. But everybody that plays the game is like, we don't give a fuck about this. Just shut up and let us play the game. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And so this is really, and the point that I'm making here is that it's just pandering. Well, the
I mean, I didn't
difference
even know
is that
about that. And I've done
nobody gives a fuck one way
every
or
quest I
another
could
because
find.
it doesn't affect the game. Whenever it affects the game, then people are going to care. You can
Yep.
have Apex Legends release. It's got the only white male it has in it on release is a toxic one. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody even talked about that because it's a good game. The people are talking about how the wingman was fucking overpowered and people are able to like snipe people with a shotgun. Nobody gave a fuck about these like weird, like these like political
Race
point
agendas.
system that people that spend 13 hours a day on the internet have invented. It doesn't matter. It's kind of weird. There were 5 gay quests or a straight one, but they were good, all good. That's fine if you can say it's kind of weird. It's the same as I think people are like, yeah, it's kind of weird what J.K. Rowling said. We don't really agree with that, but they still play the game. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that are probably like, yeah, well, we don't agree with what she said. At least some people. I'm not going to say a lot, but I'm sure there are many of them who just, they might not agree with it, but they're not like,
That or they just don't care. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I know a lot of people who just don't care about trans issues. Like, it's just what it is. Most of the time, it's like because they don't know anyone who's trans. So why would you care? You know what I mean? That's why. Do you really care about people in Africa? Like, you're not there. You don't know them. Care about people in Sri Lanka? Probably not.
oh, I'm
Unless
not going
you're
to
there.
play the game now. No, who gives a fuck? It is what it is. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Whether it's the complainers about gay... But yeah, anyway, people just don't like being told what to do. It's that simple.
Yep.
Whether it's the complainers about gay quests and Dragonflight or the complainers about J.K. Rowling being transphobic. Nobody wants to be told what they can and can't do and what they can and can't enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree to a point, but if like they do it to like a beloved character, that's a little different. Like, for example, maybe like what happens, let's say they make Rathian gay with the other dude who's like they're fighting for, who to be king of the Black Dragonflight, but what if it happens if they hook up? I think a lot of people would be pretty upset with that. I just have a feeling that would be the case. Or like, dude, Rathion's this cool person, and now you're making him like this guy's girl. Like, or maybe they're both, you know, neither's filling the role of male, the female, but it's like, it's how most people will take it because he's smaller than the other partner. So I don't know. Like, I would disagree in that. Like, a lot of people would be really, really mad about that. At least if you find like Rathian like as a character you like.
That's just all there is. So it doesn't matter what.
It's like when they were doing this stuff with Sylvanas, like I just stopped playing Shadowlands. Because it's not like I was doing any like the end game stuff. Like I don't care about that stuff. Well, not care, but wasn't really interested like anyways. But I still would have played. I usually play throughout an expansion, like till the end, at the very least. Shadowlands was like the only one I ever like just gave up in the middle.
The situation is.
But what I personally value is to always try and remain critical.
Oh, and then being insulted whenever they don't go along with it.
Neither shying away from putting myself in the shoes of those I actually disagree with, nor staying true to my own beliefs at the end of the day. This is always what has been of most importance to me, and that will never change. Now, before I end this video, I felt inclined to save my last words for the situation around J.K. Rowling herself, because I wanted to speak out against the names that not only people, but even platforms like Kotaku are assigning to her. While I both understand and respect those that heavily disagree with her opinions, I believe that any labels placed onto people are nothing more than a simple-minded way to take any form of valid discussion away around the topics they speak up about, and to cast suspicion on anyone willing to go into a debate with an open mind.
Well, a lot of these people, their viewpoints can only exist inside of an echo chamber. I think that's really the truth.
It's also a case where they're not looking for discourse. They're not looking for a discussion. That's just how it is. That's not what they're looking for. That's why they can use labels like that to attack. Because they're not caring about the discussion of why J.K. Rowling would think that way.
So they don't ever engage with anybody who they can't shut down for disagreeing with them.
Yeah.
No, because I've also been the victim of excessive labeling in the past. Being called certain totally unjustified names only with the purpose of trying to silence me and anyone even remotely agreeing with me into submission. Now, I have absolutely no desire to take part in the same conversation that she has started, nor do I feel it's a topic I have much of an opinion about at all. In the end, not everything is something that I have to care about. For now, I think it's time I shut my phone off again and take a walk. Thanks a lot everybody for watching this video with my thoughts on the Hogwarts Legacy boycott situation. I really hope you enjoyed it. As you can tell, I'm still going back and forth here a little bit between if I want to approach these videos from more of a scripted approach like I always used to do, or if I want to go back to doing more on-camera type discussions. But let me know what you actually prefer yourself.
Why not just do whatever feels right to you, you know? Like if you prefer the scripted stuff, you don't really like talking without it, then just do you.
In the comments, I would really appreciate that. Of course, you could do me a favor by first of all hitting the like button on the video, but also of course make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as one thing I can promise you, and that is that I'm gonna try and actually deliver content on this channel again on a much more frequent basis. With that being said, I want to thank you all a lot for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next time.
That was a good video. I think that he made a lot of good points, especially how people just don't really want to be told what to do, etc. Just play the games. Who cares who did what? It's literally a turf, though. Yeah, but like, here's the thing: is that nobody really gives a shit about that because they just want to play the game. The amount of people that are going to make a decision off of that is very minimal. That's just that's like whatever you think is important
who upvoted
is
the tweet.
Not important to most people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll link you guys the video. Reddit neckbeard activists are so annoying. They sure are. JK slides as an issue with what the term turf. I don't even know. I didn't read the whole message. I just read the response to it. I don't care what she said or did. The books are pretty good in my opinion, period. Yeah, I guess. And the thing is, she already got paid for the game. She's not going to continuously get any royalties. Warner Brothers will. Bro, you're not going to reason these people out of it.
And it doesn't matter. It
Like,
really doesn't.
like, you're not going to explain it to these people in a way that they're like, oh, okay, now I understand. I'm not going to get mad at you anymore. No, they've already decided to get mad. You're not going to talk them off this cliff. They're trying to jump off of it as much as they can. It doesn't matter if you say, well, you don't have to do it. You can just go around. Nope, that's not it. You're going to jump off the fucking cliff. That's what's going to happen every time, man. I want this game to be good. I'm afraid it'll be trash. So here's the thing.
That's like with every game, man. Like, what game do you go in like, I hope this game is bad? Like, every game you play, you're like, I hope it's good. But maybe it won't be.
If this game is good, people will play it. If it's bad, people won't. That's the only thing that really matters. Everything else is just bullshit. Most people buy a game, but the well-adjusted people who don't like it won't, and that's it. Oh yeah, exactly. And that's fine. If people don't like the game, that's totally okay. The game playing in the same universe, yes, but not J.K. Rowling's work. The debate's so unhinged. Oh, I mean, I don't need to... Like, it just... I don't think that so many of these people have not come into the realization that their judgment on something is not meaningful. Like, you can say, oh, I don't like this, that's fine. But like the moment that you try to tell somebody else that, oh, well, you need to do this because if you don't, I'm going to call you like X or Y thing, that doesn't really matter to anybody. Most people, It's like, what's the, like, yeah, and then what? Like, who cares? So yeah, it's just people that live on social media all of the time, constantly, and they forget the fact that not everybody else does the exact same thing. They want their word to become law. They're totalitarians. Yeah, I think so. I hate people like this in general. Same with the people that are trying to tell people to, quit Dragonflight because it has a gay agenda, because there's gay quests in the game.
I didn't even know about that. I'm like thinking back on my questing. I don't remember. You know, I think there may have been one, but I thought it was a girl, so maybe I'm wrong. Like, I just didn't care.
This is just, I'm not going to quit a video game because of that. That's fucking ridiculous. Nobody cares about this stuff either way. If the game's good, people play the game. If the game's bad, people don't play the game. It's that simple.
Yep.
If you make it any more complicated than that, people are pissed off at you. That's all there is to it. Let's move on to the next video. This was a really good video. RobinGaming. I haven't seen one of his videos before, but this is good. I'll subscribe. Let's see here. Look at the Velma series. It's rumored it's already confirmed for a second season.
Ooh, Velma. That is looking really bad, which kind of sucks because I actually like Scooby-Doo back when I was a kid. And what they're doing with Velma, I'm just like, man, what is wrong with you?
Oh, the Velma series? I don't know if it's good or not. I have no idea. I think that there's a lot of times where like shows that are very contentious get popular at the beginning because everybody wants to see kind of what the buzz is about. Yeah. And then after like episode 3 or 4,
I was gonna say after like episode 2, people were just like, oh yeah, it is crap. I'm gonna stop watching this.
Nobody cares anymore because like it's already run its course in the outrage machine.
Yeah.
It's no longer trending. It's no longer a new topic, and it actually has no established fan base to begin with because it's a bad series. That's why it was so contentious in the first place, and then it just dies off. Joey said it was horrible. Everybody said it was horrible.
Yeah. I've yet to see anyone trying to defend Velma, so... Alright, so that was Hogwarts Legacy boycott drama isn't real. Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea this was even happening, and I don't care.